Welcome back to my channel. I don't know if the phone right now is very close to my mouth or if I should put it further. I honestly don't even know what part of the phone is voice recording. Anyway, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to all of the new people who subscribed after the last video. I honestly am a little bit speechless because I never had a video doing that good, which I might say, okay, like at this point I think it has 3,000 views, which like you might say, okay, that's not that impressive for other people, but like for me it is, because I've been doing this for like a while and it hasn't happened to me until now. So welcome to all the new people. I'm kind of like intimidated sitting here right now because I didn't know what I should do this video about. Regardless, I've chosen to do this video on reading because yes, I'm a language student, but I'm also a literature student. I'm doing right now a master's in linguistics and literature, so kind of like for the people who have been around for a little bit, you guys know that my thing is mainly talking about books. So yeah, I'm just here as a reminder talking about some books. And also before you click that unsubscribe button, I already have planned like some language learning videos too, but those will be coming later on because right now with the start of the semester it's been kind of hectic. It's been kind of busy. Hopefully I'll also record maybe some vlogs, some stuff like that. I do plan on doing some language learning videos because it's something that I'm passionate about too. It's just the language community is very intimidating. On to the topic of today's video. I'm going to show you the books that I've collected while I've been living here, which it's only been a month. But you might see that I have a compulsion. Some of these are for class, some of these are for me. But I will need more books for class. I already know that because some professors are requesting hard copies of the books that we're reading. So that will be something that I cannot avoid. They are requesting us to bring hard copies that we can annotate in class. So I will probably get more books through this semester. But for now, I'm going to show you the ones that I've already got. Most of these are thrifted because I'm a student. I am living on my own right now. I don't have the funds to buy that many books. So first off, I'm going to get into the ones that I am currently reading, which are mainly these ones here. They are all books that I started and that I haven't finished yet. I do also have a tendency to do that. Anyway, and then I'm going to get into all the other books. I have them in like different piles here, like different small piles. I honestly don't know what the piles mean, but yeah, I think I'm going to just go pile by pile and show you all of them, the classics, the non-classics, the poetry, etc. So, as I said, on the books that I am reading right now, and I feel like I need to do this in chronological order. So we're starting with The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And well, so if you've been here for a while, you know that every year I say that I will finish this book. I am literally more than 50% through. I'm like here. So like I am in the middle of the book. For the people who have read it, I'm on part 2. So I read the entirety of part 1, including that chapter, very long chapter about the winter. And the thing is, I started reading this 2 years ago, I think, on my second year of uni, because I had time at the time, and then I traveled, and then exams started, midterms, etc. Then the next year I went on Erasmus, and I did bring it with me with the good intention of actually reading it, because I always get in the mood of reading this in October. And then because Erasmus, I didn't really read it. I was honestly, like, not gonna lie, not even thinking about reading this during the time when I was on Erasmus because, well, it's Erasmus, right? So I was just doing my own thing. It's just like enjoying my time with friends, going out every day. Not every day, most days. So fast forward to the next year, which was my last year of uni. And of course, like my last year of my bachelor's, like it was hard. So I also didn't have time to read this. So I guess now is a moment to read it, maybe. So the next one that I started is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. My boyfriend gifted me this edition of Pride and Prejudice when we were also on Erasmus, and I started reading it in Valentine's Day because like this year we did long distance for Valentine's, or like I mean for the entire year. But in Valentine's I was feeling maybe a little bit lonely, a little bit, I don't know. So I just decided to pick up this book and read it. And honestly, I don't know. I've already read a book by Jane Austen. I read Persuasion. So it's kind of like a crime that I haven't read Pride and Prejudice or any of the other books, honestly. I am on page 56. And it's not that hard. I was enjoying it. I just don't know why. The next one I started this summer. I'm not that far along. It's Paradise Lost by John Milton. And I am on page 30. And this is because I really want to read this book. I kind of like first saw it in like a romance book that I read where like the main character was a literature student or like a literature graduate anyway. And she like loved this book. She loved it. And I spent like a year chasing it because I didn't want to like just buy it on Amazon, right? It was like the excuse of like, if I find it in the library, I'll buy it. And one time in Barcelona, I ended up finding it in the library and buying it in the bookstore. And well, here it is. I started this summer. I didn't start it until this summer. The pencil on there. And I started reading it, but I was not understanding that much because I'm not good at poetry. Not gonna lie. I'm a literature student that has been dodging poetry for the last 4 years at least. Even this year, I chose my subjects not to do that much poetry. I really want to read this and I really want to understand it, but at the same time, it's so difficult. So difficult. So if someone has like a guide of how to read this or like any advice, please let me know, because it's just, I stopped reading it because the summer ended and I knew I wouldn't have more time for it, and I was a little bit intimidated. So next book that I started reading is this one in the corner, which is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. And I bought this secondhand in a library in Greece. It was called Silver and Used Books Vrakas, like you have it there, the sticker. I could have removed it, but it's also like super stuck there, and I used to have like gel nails, so I couldn't really remove it. During my time in Greece, I started chasing like through the islands one book. I was like, I forgot to bring a book with me, so it was like in every island going to a bookstore, because I went like through the Greek islands, and I was trying to find one book, just one that would pique my interest, that would be interesting to me, that I would want to read. And most bookstores had all of them the same books. Like, it was crazy the amount of times that I saw the second book in the Atlas 6 trilogy in bookstores, but not the first one or the third one. And this happened a lot. And they all had the same books. So I was like starting to be desperate until the last day we went to Naxos, which was the last island we were in. And in Naxos, there was this bookstore that was massive. It was a secondhand bookstore. It was massive. They had all kinds of books. And they even had like books in Catalan and like Norwegian, like random languages, so like not only like English, you know. And apparently the lady in the bookstore told me that they actually went to the other countries and like to secondhand bookstores in other countries, and they got books from there during the off season, and then they brought them to a bookstore. And so the next one I started, which like technically I've only read one page, but I will have to read a lot more now, is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. So I have to read this for one of my classes this semester, and I have to give a presentation on it. That's why I already started it. If you are wondering what those markings are, it's basically because this is a very intimidating read for me because of how long it is, and like people talked about how boring it is. I am very, very intimidated, not gonna lie. The only thing that I know about is that this is about a whale, and that this is one of the books that people consider like one of the greatest American classics. So there's that. Now that we're done with all books that with my corner of failures, we're going to get into the books that I have to read. So I feel like I'm going to first go for poetry because I only have one, and it's also a book for class. So I have to read this for Tuesday. No, next Thursday. And yes, probably I'll be editing this during the entirety of the day today so that I can post it tomorrow, because I left recording to the last moment, but I have to read this for the next Thursday, and the professor asked for hard copies, so here it is. It's Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, the translation by Simon Armitage. He is like the translator of like the Old English. It's anonymous, really, like the version in the introduction. He talked a little bit about it. I haven't really started the poem itself because it is a poem. It's kind of like Beowulf. I already read Beowulf for class in the past, so I don't think it's going to be that bad. Like, it's kind of like pretty thin. Like, Beowulf was double this. I remember it was very hard, but yeah, I should be able to read it like between today and tomorrow. Let's get then into some authors themselves that I have several books by. So I have here my Jane Austen stack. You already saw Pride and Prejudice, and even though I haven't read the rest of the books, I do own some of them. So we have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I have to read this for like 2 classes that I have. Like, I have to read this once this semester, and then I have to also read it next semester. Check out, just take very thorough notes just in case, because I mean, if I like it, I wouldn't mind, but at this point, I don't know. So I'm just going to take very thorough notes so that I can like apply my what I've learned from one subject to the other, or like I don't have to reread the entire book. Then we get to Mansfield Park, and well, this one, I also need to read for a class. I got it in like Oxfam because if you've watched videos of me like thrifting here in Belgium, you know that I go to Oxfam quite a lot. And I saw it and it was like not that expensive. I think, yeah, €3. So I just got it. And yeah, I think the only book that I don't have by Jane Austen is Northanger Abbey. I also have Emma by Jane Austen, which this book I thrifted the first time I came thrifting in Belgium. So like the first time I thrifted with my boyfriend, the first time we went to the book market on Sundays. This is the book that I got. And it's from Wordsworth Classics, but it's like a vintage edition. I don't even know what year this is from. But yeah, so another one. And then another girl. This book is not mine. It's from the library, but it's Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I really want to read it because of the entire discourse on TikTok right now about the movie and if it's a good adaptation and if Jacob Elordi is like a good choice for the casting, which like based on what I've heard, no. But yeah, I really want to read it and have an in on it. I already read Jane Eyre by her sister, and I do have a copy of Wuthering Heights at home, back at home, because okay, this is my collection here. If you go back to my house in the Basque Country, I have like a lot of books. I'm a hoarder, so I have too many books. I actually need an Excel sheet to keep order of how many books I have and which ones I do have and which ones I don't. So I have like 200 and something books. Yes, I'm not Chuck Edwards here, but we are getting somewhere. Yeah, so I decided to get it from the library. I will have to return it soon and I haven't read it yet, which is a pity. But let's see if I find like a little bit of time between some classes or like some readings, assigned reading that I have to do to read this, which I don't think so. I have 7 subjects this semester. It's going to be very hectic. And another author that I have like a bunch of books by is Virginia Woolf. And first off we have Mrs. Dalloway. And this book is also thrifted in the first thrifting blog that I did in Ghent. So yeah, I don't know, I'm redirecting you to those ones. This book Mila Sims recommended. She said this is one of her favorite books ever. So I got it like soon after. I need people asking me to read books, like in the comments. Just tell me, read your fucking books. You buy them for a reason. Just read them. Another book that I do have, technically this one I did start, but I'm like in page 5, so whatever. A Room of One Song by Virginia Woolf. Yesterday, like my professor mentioned it in class, and I was like, I didn't read that one. For the people who don't know, this is a feminist essay written on the basis that what if Shakespeare had a sister that was just as talented as him, that because of being a woman, she would never become the great author that she could have become, because she had to stay at home and have children. And then I also have by Virginia Woolf, The Waves. I have not read this. This is the book that I wanted to bring with me to Greece. I don't know if it is appropriate. It sounded appropriate to me, but I do have to read this too. Another author that I have several books by here is Dickens. And I already read Hard Times by Dickens. And well, if you don't know, in the series by Cassandra Clare, in The Shadowhunters, The Origins, or not The Origins in Spanish. Okay, sorry for that. It's not one of my videos if there's no random interaction in the middle of it. I was going to talk about Dickens, I believe. How it is like referenced a lot in Cassandra Clare's Infernal Devices series. When I saw these books at the store, I just got them without thinking. But also, like, not gonna lie, I like Dickens, but also you know that he was paid by the chapter. You know that he was paid for like writing this section of it. He was a girly on Wattpad adding chapters that had nothing to do, like not nothing, but like there are just filler chapters to get paid. Anyway, so I have the one that I would want to read the most is Great Expectations by Dickens, because it's the most known. And then I also have the Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens, which this one is even thicker, so why are books so thick sometimes? I mean, because he was paid by the chapter, probably. And then I have like general books that I have thrifted that are classics in general. I'm just going to go through like these classics, and then I'm going to get to the books that are not classics that I do have. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And honestly, like the Russians, I do want to read a lot. I'm very curious about this one, about the Brothers Karamazov, about Lolita, all of them. I want to read all of them, but I've been procrastinating them mainly because there was like a very long time of my life when I was like, I'm going to learn Russian and I'm going to read the classics in Russian, which, girl, you haven't even started learning Russian. What are you thinking about? But yeah, so I finally decided when I saw it in the store, not in the store, this was just in the market, and it was like just for €6 or something like that. I have to. Then I have The Great Gatsby by F.S. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah, it's just the same edition as all the others. Is this semester I have like the infamous class that is like literature Taylor's version that a lot of people have talked about. I'm taking this semester, and I was expecting that maybe we would read this, but we are not going to read this, so I guess I'll just have to read it on my own. But yeah, the references from The Great Gatsby in some of Taylor's songs in 1989, stuff like that, in that album, they are very, very visible. I have to read this. And then talking about Taylor Swift references, I also have Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and I still haven't read it because, but like, to be fair, these books that I thrifted last time I was in Belgium, I just left them here, right? So like, they have been here for an entire time until I came here. They were just in my boyfriend's house because like I was not going to bring them back home to just like have to bring them back. And what I want to say by that is it made sense why I didn't read them. It's not because I'm just lazy and don't want to read. I want to read, I just didn't even have them with me. Probably I wouldn't have read them if I brought them with me, but this time I have an excuse. This time I have a valid excuse. And so lastly, the last one of the classics is The Happy Prince and Other Stories by Oscar Wilde. I haven't read The Picture of Dorian Gray, but I feel like this might be a little bit more approachable. It's just short stories, and to be fair, I am looking forward to it. Maybe I'm going to just read them as like palette cleansers in a way, because if they are so short, like I can just read one in between, and I think they are a little bit more like children's stories. I don't know though, but like this edition at least, like it does have like some drawings. Let me show you. So like, yeah, hopefully I'll just pick it up soon, and maybe not read the entire thing, just like start reading like the short stories here and there. And now finally getting into the books that are not classics themselves. I mean, I guess you could argue that some of them are modern classics, I guess, but we have Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This book went like a little bit viral on TikTok in the summer, and I got it off of Vinted during that time for like super cheap, and I still haven't read it. I'm sorry, okay? But yeah, Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This is about a guy who, like, his old professor is going to die, so he goes to talk to the professor every week, Tuesdays, I think. That's as far as I know, and apparently like it has a lot of questions about life and a lot of philosophy, sociology, stuff like that, from like a person who is about to die. Then I have Wild Swans by Jung Cha. And so my boyfriend's mom lent me this, and she's the sweetest angel of a woman, but I still haven't read it. Yeah, I mean, you can honestly, if you have to scream to me about anything, just like type in all captions in the comments, like, read that book, read the book that your boyfriend's mom gave you. And lastly, this one I thrifted for €1, and I'm like super proud of it because, okay, the story goes as in Jack Edwards posted a quiz in which you could take the quiz and see which Booker Prize winner was, I don't know, like you should read, I guess. So I took the quiz. I was like, okay, let's see, because I want to read more modern fiction too. I don't know where to start. Most of the stuff that I read is not that serious, honestly, except stuff that I read for class. And I took the quiz, and I got recommended Possession by A.S. Byatt. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was looking at it on Vinted, and I was only finding people from Italy selling it, and like from Italy the shipping cost is like very high. Like, so I waited and I waited and I waited, and last time I went to Oxfam, they had a shelf with like books for €1, and like it's not in the best condition, but I found that. And anyway, so after this very, very long, very diverse little books little chat that we just had, this is it for today's video. And as I said, hello again to all the new people that subscribed. I hope this was not a letdown. I hope you were still going to be around, and thank you to the people who always come back, because I can see that you guys in the analytics. I can always see like returning viewers, and also like subscribers and new viewers. Like, you know, YouTube shows me all of that. So yeah, thank you to the people who always come back to hear me talk about my current hyperfixations. But yeah, this is it for today's video. If you like this video, you might consider subscribing, because for you it's not much, and for me it would make my day. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.